Welcome back to this weekend Showdown. Welcome back, everybody. We got everyone here tonight, and they are glad to be here. It wouldn't be week 26 without everyone in the house. We got Jeff and Matt. Thank you guys for being here.
Let's go. Full house.
Full house. Yes, Danny Tanner's in the house. But again, the only reason we can do this, as every week, is because of the great job by Matt Gula, which is done at the showdownbot.com, at MLB Showdown Bot on Twitter. So follow him. He was live tweeting some of the games yesterday for 162. I'm sure he's going to be very active again for the playoffs coming up. And he's got a ton of stuff on the bot. People on the Discord are always talking about how great of a job he's doing. And because of that, we get to do this week-to-week analysis that we're doing every week. And this week, for some odd reason, it's like almost all studs, which is fantastic. So we can jump right... Well, actually, before we jump into it, what did you guys think of game 162?
Wanted the Jays and the Mariners.
I know. I wanted the Jays.
Nobody was happy. I just came out of it. I was just I saw the Yankees walk off, and I was just like, why didn't they intentionally walk Judge? I was angry.
I mean, the Yankees game was 0-0 for half the game, so I was like, whatever. Right. But the Boston was getting crushed, 5-1 or 2.
It was 5-1,
and I'm like, okay, that game's over. The Blue Jays are having a shot, and then no. I'm like, okay, well, now I'm just pissed off because, of course, Boston. I mean, I just can't wait. I want both those teams to lose. Sorry for Yankees and Red Sox fans. I don't like you guys.
Good
small market
guys.
team.
Right.
Small market team here.
I saw the Verdugo double and I was like, God damn it! I know this is Yankees Red Sox, but you know what? I guess it's cool, big rivalry, but just less fun than it could have been.
It was so disappointing because the Jays were up by 1 million early, so we're like, all right, we'll at least get one tiebreaker, maybe. Because one of the Yankees and Red Sox will lose, and then none of them lose.
I know.
Sad.
I mean, I was very upset late in the day, but whatever. I digress.
It was a lot of fun. It was a fun day, though. I will say
I like when that comes down to that. I think that's exciting for baseball. So that much is good, especially if you think about it like NBA and NFL. No, this 162 games, 161 technically, and it comes down to almost a 4-way tiebreaker at 162 games long. That's a crazy thing.
In the NL West, there's 6 games that mattered yesterday.
Yep.
It was just that's bananas. It was great. It was a joy, regardless of who made the playoffs.
Correct. So we'll go right into the Blue Jays here because George Springer killing it for the Blue Jays. A great card, 340 here. 8 B speed, but ton of power. So it's definitely a draftable card. He had 3 home runs this week, 10 RBIs, and 8 runs. Again, the Blue Jays are just freaking unreal right now. But the card itself, what do you guys think? A lot of walks.
A lot of walks. And this is kind of like injured George Springer. He's been injured throughout the year. So he's not and he's a little old now. I feel like he's low, underratedly 32 or 33 or something like that. I could be totally wrong.
Is this the updated art, Matt?
No, this is not.
Okay.
I hate this image. Don't talk to me about this. I added in probably
wait till the playoffs,
2.
and then
there'll be an update. But this was he had 2 Blue Jays photos because he was hurt the whole time before. I think he played his first game in May. I mean, it's a fine photo. It's just I don't know.
I kind of feel like this card is absolutely on a roster in a normal draft.
It's just a lot of walks. If there's one there's one downside, it's the walks.
He doubles at 13.
No, trust me, that's all great.
Walks.
But there's
doubles at 13.
I know, but there's a lot of walks.
He doubles in 13.
Listen here, David Justice. When I tell you to simmer down, you better listen. That's an inside joke. Sorry, guys.
I am not defending. Right, I am the guy who's usually sees walks, and I just have stars in my eyes, and ooga. I'm not defending walks here. That's not a lot of walks.
This is a great card, and it's good. It's valuable. 340 is a pretty good price for this kind of card.
Yeah.
Yes.
He hits a lot of dingers, gets a lot of doubles. Negatives his defense kind of sucks, and his speed is whatever. And his walks. But 340, get you some pop. Why not? Maybe DH.
Seems like a great DH option to me. Right. Maybe stick him in left field if you got some better guys out there. You know, I don't know.
Absolutely.
I just it'll be interesting, but I would bet that he's on a roster.
Oh, I think you're right.
8-team draft, not limited salary.
I don't know. The last thing I'll say is I am looking at the 01 binder as always, and there's a Steve Finley, exactly the same cost, less outs, less walks, outfield +1, so technically better defense, same speed, 17 homer with a 16 triple, 14 through 15 double, and I may take that one over this one. That's all I got to say.
I don't know if Steve Finley got drafted in our 01 league.
Is he? Let me see. Is he? He's 340. Oh wow, that card's super good.
See, so then you think about this because in more walks. If you're looking at home, look up Steve Finley. But I mean, it's a tough one. You get a little bit more on the home run department, obviously, but the triple kind of offsets that. I don't know.
I'll save. The triple offsets that. I would always take less outs if I can, and if it also means more hits, like starting single, then I'll do that too.
Absolutely.
So I am with you. It's crazy. I was literally pulling up the spreadsheet to see if there was anyone similar, like for just like to be able to compare to. So that's maybe you're right. Maybe this isn't as good a deal because I don't feel like does C Finley show up on our? I
don't know if he got drafted. I don't remember it at least.
Do people I feel like usually like to have defense in center field though. I guess he could play the corners too, but.
Yeah. It would really pretty much be DH to your point. And we'll see. I'm curious. Now I feel less good about this. I was screaming from the rooftops, and I just was like, oh damn it!
You got to contextualize all about the context. You gotta look at the people around them.
Well, here, Jeff. Let's move over to a guy who's making the playoffs, who I think is gonna find a spot, and that's freaking Trey Turner. Who just absolutely wrecked it this week. He had 2 grand slams this week. He had 3 homers, 11 RBIs. He had 480 on base just this week, 8 runs. He had a 917 slugging this week. Just absolutely freaking annihilated the ball. And what we're going to talk about a little bit, because we're going to talk about the next card here, is this is his card after a full season. Like second base +4, shortstop +3, A speed 9. I think he was one of the top overall players for the entire year on ESPN's Player Rater. He's doubling at 16. Very limited walks. Single plus at 14. Yes, this card is worth 5-10 in a nutshell, and the card is outrageous. And to think what the Nationals could have had if they had like Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, Juan Soto is unreal. It's like the Marlins back in the day with Ozuna, Yelich, and Giancarlo Stanton. But this to me is like this. It's like this card is freaking phenomenal.
It's like we need instead of a Marvel what if show on Disney
exactly.
like a MLB what if show that they all stayed in
genius.
Washington. Yeah. Oh my God. No, this is I'm just gonna say it. Tell me if you disagree with me. I don't think I'm going out there on a limb on this one. In a draft, I think this is number 1 pick.
Number 1? I think he's first round. First round. Number 1?
We got to see the full sample size. So maybe
I do love an A speed. Don't get me wrong. I love an A speed.
Dude, but here's I've said this forever. And you need the first round guys have to do a lot of things at once, especially as hitters, right? He does everything.
He does everything.
The worst thing about it, I guess, is the on base not being a 10, but then he'd be like 600 plus probably. So I don't know. Maybe it is later first, but man, it definite first round, if not early.
I love that he only has 2 walks. That is huge.
This card overall, and underratedly, I'm just a sucker for this. Finally, some guy, a elite talent with a 1 to 2 strikeout in this set with other. I just love seeing ground balls and fly balls because there's none in the other cards, and it drives me nuts. And I don't know. That's just, comparing strikeouts now to 2000 is very different. But, this card is everything. It's as much as Nomar Garciaparra in the 01 set, but you get versatility, speed, a little bit of pop. 18 homer, a little something. Yeah. And he's got no walks. This may be probably my favorite. I ran the bot for all the – I looked at these stats the other day, but, this one was up there. I sorted the shortstops and second baseman, and this card's just going to be elite.
What's Tatis right now?
Tatis, I think he's a 9 with a 16 homer, maybe. I'll run him real quick and see.
Yeah, as I say, because like that's really what you're talking about here. Is like, is this your
But he
second
won't
base
give you
shorts?
defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, did he got the outfield eligibility, right?
he did. So
pretty
he
funny.
can't. That is true. He's like versatile, kind of like Trey is a little bit.
Yeah, kind of.
He's
just not as good either, you know.
He's more points. So he's 540, A speed, shortstop +2, outfield +1. That's kind of nice. And then he can do 1 to 5 strikeouts, so more outs and a bigger walk. But you know, you get a 9 on base, 16 home run for 30 more points, but worse batting average, worse defense. But still
Man,
gives you, like,
that is a
flexibility.
tough call
Still
because
Trey.
it's a lot more walks. It's a lot more walks. And
It's 4 more walks.
yeah, but then you're getting the extra power. So, but like you're getting on base at like a 7 with Trey. Like that is extremely good.
Stealing. He's getting on base. Yeah, then he's stealing. Like, anyway.
Man, that's a tough call.
You need to join our league, get the first pick him, and then say you picked him because of the 3 ground ball in the 4th.
I'm serious. I don't know if any of the other cards in this set are gonna have. Or I haven't even looked at all the cards,
It's
but
very limited.
Most of them don't have. It's so sad. I feel like for next year I need to just like be like, all right, I'm sacrificing the accuracy. I'm just bumping down. I'll do like a condition. If the year is after 2018 or 2017, whatever, I'll just like force them to have a maximum of 2 strikeouts or something. I don't know.
2022 baseball might not even look like it is like 2021 baseball.
That's true.
So it might change anyway. But no, like now I feel like I'm gonna look at the cards from this set and try, like when I see those like rare ground balls and fly balls on like a batter chart, I'm just gonna be like a unicorn. Like, oh, it happened. You know?
Exactly.
It's not like I'm gonna be psyched when it happens when I roll that, but like at least I'll be like, wow, this is a rare moment in baseball.
I know.
Well, let's move on quickly to an early MVP favorite that quickly got hurt and trailed off, but then kind of picked up at the end here is Byron Buxton. He had a couple rough weeks after coming back from injury, but just in this past week, 3 more home runs, 2 stolen bases, 11 runs, which I think is very good for him. And again, very small sample size. He only had 235 at-bats, but he ended up finishing with like 19 homers, which is pretty ridiculous for that kind of season for 235. And you think most people have like 600 at-bats. You know, he could have 50-something home runs at that pace. This card is also freaking ridiculous. You know, we usually in our sets in the past, we've if they didn't have enough at-bats, we've downgraded certain things. But this is just the bot. This is just performing what he actually did in the time he did it. And this card just blows, obviously, freaking George Springer out of the water here. Low walks, tons of freaking power. I mean, he's doubling at 10, homering at 15. This card is stupidly strong. And I mean, obviously, we saw the Buxton at 1,000 at the beginning of the year. Obviously, I really wish he had like 400, 500 plate appearances to really get a good sample of what he really was. But for 19 home runs and 235, that's pretty ridiculous. And I do think that's just pretty cool to have this card in the set for the time being. So,
yeah, somebody had messaged to me the other day that they're making a set kind of like you guys do, and they had mentioned like, oh, what should I do about, you know, Byron Buxton and small sample size? In the original 01 set, run it through the bot, you'll see. If you run Mark McGwire 2000 stats with 2001, the card will be insane and won't look like the Wizards of the Coast. It's because I think they cut it off at either 100 games or 80 games, and they combined the previous 2 seasons. So it'd take, or that season and the last season. So then if you run the bot with doing the multi-year stuff, like just do 1999 through 2000 for McGwire, it's like the exact Wizards of the Coast one. So
whoa.
I think like with this one, I mean, I don't know if you combine them, what he looks like, but like that's an idea for the set, and that's what they used to do. I don't know what their cutoff was, but I assume Buxton didn't reach it. But this card's, would you pay 540 though for an 8 on base? Like that's
this one I would.
Yeah,
I think people take a card on this, like with just the center field +3 is so
and A speed. He's doubling at 10. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, you definitely spend the money. and you guys don't play with strats, but if you did, for sure, then because you can manipulate the on base saves of cards.
Absolutely.
A little bit, but I mean, yeah, this card's nuts.
All right, let's quickly move on to Brandon Lowe, who I benched yesterday because I didn't really need him in, and he hits freaking 3 home runs. But in general, Brandon Lowe has had a crazy season. He ends up finishing 39 homers, 99 RBIs, 97 runs, but he had 5 home runs this week, including, again, 3 the other day when I benched him, which is kind of disappointing. But surprising season for him. But a lot of value, I think, here. We just talked about George Springer being 340 and having a lot of power. This is roughly the same type of card. A lot of walks, a lot of power. He's kind of undervalued in defense. This is really reminiscent of George Springer. I like him because I had him in my fantasy team all year, but I wish he was just a little bit better. Just a little bit better.
I think he gets looks just because of the position.
And the great artwork done by Matt Gula.
I was about to mention that this picture.
Look at the shades. Like, they're perfect.
Dude, it's like,
they're majestic.
They should just go back to that Rays logo.
Yeah.
What are you kidding? Oh my god. But yeah, no, it's very Springer-esque. And yeah, he did have. I was watching that 3 home run game, and it was just like when he hit the third, I was like, wait, what? Like, I was like, couldn't believe what I was watching again. But yeah, no, great card. Just yeah, it's tough though in drafts because positional flexibility is awesome, but that's really only matters at certain aspects of the draft depending on how you slot things around during it. And then once you set the lineup, it doesn't, unless you have a bench, it doesn't super matter. So at least in Bob and our leagues when we play.
Yeah, this is a weird one because second baseman back in 2000 just didn't hit homers. So this is just a weird card. So it's yeah, I mean, I think about it. I don't like the single at 12, but I mean, solid card overall. Pretty nice.
And then for our shame of the week, I was going to go with another Blue Jay, but I feel like we had Gurriel in before. So I threw out the old George, big Yankees fan, Gary Sanchez in here. Gary Sanchez went 1 for 14 this week and, helps the Yankees get to their playoff spot by just dragging it along somehow. Super low. This card's actually pretty sweet looking because you got the tattoo really framed out. But this
name.
Yeah, this card is kind of blah. Huge walk range, below average on base, super below average arm, and then just only power. And it's just, I would rather punt harder on catcher than draft this card.
I mean, being in, I'm from New York area and all the Yankees fans, they just can't deal with Gary Sanchez anymore. They keep giving him chances, and he was actually doing well midway through the year. He was having a decent year finally for the first time in a while. And then he just has been in such a bad slump, and he's so bad on defense. If you watch him, it's honestly, the +3 should be, if there could be a negative, he'd probably be a negative. He's so bad behind the plate on everything, framing, blocking.
He literally only has power, and that's just not enough. I mean, I don't know how you can.
Not even that much in this.
How do you roster this guy? You can't. I'm the real Yankees. How are you rostering this guy?
No, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing redeeming here.
No.
You should go run. I think Matt sent it to me, but on the other side of the catcher debate, he ran Austin Hedges, who I think ended up with he's really good on defense. But if we're going to talk about cards that are just worth absolutely nothing, which this Gary Sanchez card is, right now, Austin Hedges is 10 points. He's an on-base 4. Not great.
I'm bringing it up right now.
He homers at 11, but he's 10 points, and he's catcher plus 11.
Matt, are you looking this up? Are you looking it up, Matt? It's fantastic.
I gotta look this up now.
It's fantastic.
Now I feel like you're gonna. Now I call you're gonna go fix it before we.
Oh, I'm not gonna go. No,
This card is such a good draft card.
This is a first-round pick. This is an actual first-round pick.
Especially in a value league. For 10 points, you're locking up catcher. You don't give a F. You got the arm.
I love this on base 4 at that point.
Tab. Look, if you go to the breakdown with the points, it's hilarious. He's got He gets negative points for batting average, negative on base, negative slugging. Home runs, he gets like a little bit. And then defense 84. So that puts him, he's so far in the negative. Yeah, this is a
Indians
weird
like defensive catchers. I guess the
They
Guardians
really
now.
do.
They
This is our
love
second
it.
plus.
Yeah.
We had Roberto Perez like
Mhm.
plus 14 in our set. Like I think he's like plus 11 through. I think it's
Yeah.
2 straight plus 11s. But like, it's so funny because like this card could be probably 50 or 60 points, and people would spend it. Like it's wild. There's a point in which like it's not worth like 80 points or 100, but like.
If you're asking me if I'd rather have this or Gary Sanchez, I'd rather have Austin Hedges.
Yeah, no, go
Oh,
take
for
this.
sure.
Go get 12 Austin Hedges over 1 Gary Sanchez. You know?
This card
Dude.
is so weird. Oh my
It's
gosh. No,
so
I
weird.
mean, this is like how it's supposed to be in my formula thing, but like
No,
this,
it's right. He was so bad at the plate. He was horrible. Like, and we all saw it. And like, but he just happened to be really good on defense to redeem it. This gets into like, actually, I was about to say this gets into negative point territory. This doesn't, because his arm makes up for it. But like, think of like this guy. Like the only reason this guy was on the roster is because he could throw people out.
Yep. That's the only reason.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it. And I have to ask this now. And Matt, if you don't know this, don't look it up. I'm just curious. I'm sure you know. Gary's close to the 3 true outcomes. Did we get at least one card that is the 3 outcomes? The true outcomes?
I don't remember. I didn't look that up. It's probably either Gallo or
I think
what's his
Gallo would have
face?
hit it.
On the
There were some-
White Sox.
Oh
Grandal.
my gosh. Yeah, I'm gonna just for fun. We don't have to. I don't want to spend too much time on this because I feel like I'm already going off the rails. But I just like saw a touch of 3 true outcomes, and I was like, I need to know if we got there because like
There's got to be one.
I think Gallo got it. This is
Let's go.
amazing. Right, let's go. 1 to 4 strikeout, 5 to 15 walk. Bob, did you hear me?
I'm loading it
It's-
right now. Hold on.
It's 5 to 15 walk. 6 homer at 16. This is. I'm going to.
Yes.
This and frame. I'm going to frame this card.
Let's go. Let's go.
Dude. Anyway. Okay. I'm
So
night
bad.
mate.
5
I just
through
need a
15
true outcome
walk.
card.
It's embarrassing.
If you ever add like, you know how there's like the icons, like if you ever add icons for 2001, there should be like a 3 true outcomes icon. Which is, like, you know, I don't know what it's like. No running. It's like lack of running.
No, it
Somebody
should just be like an
designed that.
exclamation point, like a caution symbol, like
It's
be
just-
wary of what you're drafting.
Yeah, or no D,
Yeah.
no defense.
Yep.
Because it wasn't needed.
All right, let's move on then to the pitchers, which Walker Buehler had a great outing to end the season. And I think he ended up getting 2 outings. Yes, he had 2 wins, 16 strikeouts in 12 innings. Had a .75 ERA for the last 2 games. He had a 2.47 ERA on the year, .97 WHIP, so 212 strikeouts and 207 innings. A workhorse of a player. He picks up a 600-point card and a tier, 1 player, and I think absolutely a great card, and is 100% getting drafted. And Buehler was great, and the Dodgers are ridiculous. And they couldn't even win the division.
Yeah, I think as of like last week, there were like 3 of these type of. I think Corbin Burns kind of looked like this.
Yeah.
He may have gotten even better, and then Woodruff, and then a couple other guys like 6 control 16. So you'll see a few of these, but
There was a stat that said the Dodgers since the All-Star break, their wins to loss ratio was like outrageous. Only 6 other teams in the history have ever done what the Dodgers did in the past like All-Star break thing. And then it said, and they picked up 1 game on the Giants.
They picked
I was
up
like,
1 game.
what?
Just,
Absurd.
just-
That's how
It's-
good the Giants were.
dude. I mean, they're gonna. I mean, again, assuming the Dodgers can win the wild card game, which if they didn't, would just be chaos.
I mean, I hope they.
Would just
MLB
chaos.
Both the Dodgers and the
I want-
Cardinals are like these super MLB fans. I don't care who wins it as long as someone else beats them.
Yeah, I think, but Dodgers Giants is like basically kind of its own little World Series in the NLDS, which is going to be bananas. But this Walker card, the only reason it wouldn't get drafted, Bob, is because there's like 4 of them, and I think like to Matt's point, there's going to be like 3 or 4 tier 1s, if not maybe more, and then like we're talking about just the people range like around the 600 mark.
Yep.
Dude, there's going to be a zillion pitchers.
There's a
from
lot
5
of
to
pitchers
600.
very highly rated, so you can sort of have your pick of the litter about what you want. I think you need to be looking at 6 IP type pitchers. I think those are going to be at a value premium, so we'll see what those guys will all go first in saving bullpens, but we'll see how that draft ends up going. But yeah, let's quickly move on to Charlie Morton, who almost has a 600-point card here. Ends up having a 3.30 ERA in the season, but this past week has 9 innings, a win, 13 Ks over his 2 starts. He didn't pitch a full game on his last outing, but pretty good season, 216 Ks and 185 innings, so bigger K ratio, but picks up the 1 through 17 out tier. What is this? Is this tier 2 as well?
Yeah, tier 2. Yeah.
Tier 2, and but no doubles, so that's what jumps him up here. Great card, especially, again, the only thing I think would be better here is if you had 1 extra walk instead of 1 extra single here, but great card. 570, I think I'd rather have Buehler for 30 more points, but we're just talking here. I think this card doesn't see the liking that Buehler has. I think Buehler is just a freaking phenomenal card.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe I'd take this card over Buehler, but I don't know. I mean, I like the no doubles.
I just think
But
Buehler's
if he
a
had,
whole
like, a
tier
fat-
higher.
Yeah, if you had like a fat ground ball, like a huge ground ball,
And you could build your
maybe.
team around the defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He's basically the same as Kevin Brown. I think we go over this every week. There's some Kevin Brown lookalike, but you sacrifice an inning for no double.
Yeah.
Kevin Brown's got a double. Walk for a double.
And Kevin
but
Brown
no
does
doubles.
great. So don't get me wrong. This card will do great. I'm just saying, would I draft this card? Yes. Would I draft him or Buehler? I would rather Buehler. That's just me.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
It's so fun. It's funny because I just brought it up. I brought up 2001 just to look at it. And first of all, this is something we already know, but it's amazing how few pitchers there are in the top 25 of this, and how that is completely reversed. But anyway, yeah, Kevin Brown is we said. It's he's 18, 19 single, 20 double. Big thing. He's the IP7. Actually, the top 8 pitchers. Right. So going down to Chan-Ho Park at 470, they are all IP7. There's no IP6s in the top there, which is also just, again, indicative of today. But it's just crazy to have 570 and you have these just in Showdown world, the charts are getting better, the controls are getting better, the IP's going down, but they're still ending up at that same amount. So It really is a crazy kind of apples, apples to kind of apples, comparison. So you have the Kevin Brown, who's the 4 IP7, 18, 19 single, 20 double, and then Greg Maddux. Funny enough, the next pitcher above him is not far off from Walker. He's the control 6. He's IP7 still. I think he's got the extra single, but 590, very similar. So it's kind of funny how those those little comparison points almost, even though they're very different.
Absolutely. And then we'll slide over here to Dillon Flora, who I have not seen this season make the charts. But all of a sudden, you got here a tier 2 pitcher sliding in as a closer for 240, which seems a very good value for 0-1. He picks up 3 saves this last week in 4 innings. He ended up with 15 in the season, but a 2.8 ERA gives him the nice 6 control closer card. I actually think people will take a look at this guy.
Yeah, I like the walks. I like the 2 walks. I mean, the double's not great.
Obviously.
240. Looking at the other, yeah. I mean, this is a decent price for us. People are going to draft this.
Yeah, decent ground
6
ball
control.
range here. I just feel like you can slide this guy in for 240. I think it's got a good value range at 240, and I feel like you could grab this guy and feel like you can get a lot done for 240. Especially because the 0-1 really is just so expensive. It's where do I find some value? It's I'm going to grab a 6 control guy who gets a lot of ground ball range. This feels very nice.
This feels like an 8th inning guy.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, people take we just did a draft of the MPB league out in Japan, and ton of control 6s, and they all went regardless of the charts. That's just a thing. Again, I know that's kind of anecdotal, but people just focus on control 6 kind of no matter what their chart is. So anyway, yeah. I've mentioned this before. We've all mentioned this. The Marlins on black is just being actually perfect. Like just so.
Okay, so here's a good
you know?
point, Matt. You said that you like to tint the background one shade darker.
I knew you'd ask this one.
But on the Marlins when they're black.
Are
Yeah,
you
nope,
tinting the
that's-
black?
Yeah.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
But
In
yep.
Batman's turns really dark gray.
So that's
right?
when I like
Really,
the
really
Marlins'
dark
other
gray.
jerseys, if they were like white or the like the blue teal or whatever they have. I hate when the background matches the jersey. And Jeff, I don't know if you watched
Yeah.
our last week podcast. We talked about this. And Matt Gula, he tints the background like one shade darker, so it still stands out, which I think is an excellent way to show the card realistically. I think it's a great way to do that. It just sucks when you're doing the black on black version of the
Dude,
Marlins.
I don't agree with you. Black on black looks badass.
Okay, so the black on black is fine, but like red on red for like the Indians or the Cardinals, I think it feels washed.
I agree.
and-
That
Yeah.
red, like I am not a fan of red and blue. Just on like I just want less red and blue in
Yeah.
baseball.
But
all
but
the
I feel
time.
like they should either contrast or it should pop. So when Matt has the background one shade darker, it feels like it comes off the page a little bit.
no,
So if you
I
have like
agree
the
with
the next season we're talking about the Guardians, and if we go with the blue background, then I feel like if you have the red jersey pictures, they'll pop off the page. They'll pull themselves off the page a lot better than the red on red just feels like it's just washed out.
Yeah, we had a Marte cutout early for the Marlins that looked sweet, and his A's one looked sweet too.
Oh,
but,
the A's one is really sharp.
Yeah, the A's one may be my favorite one
Mm-hmm.
in the entire set. But yeah, I think like with the Marlins guys, when I go through these, I'll probably just put them all at like white or their blues or some other uni.
I guess that's
'Cause
the contrast is a good point, Bob. I don't.
Yeah.
Like
Again, I'm looking at just from an art point of view here. I'm just dictating BS, but
I just want to go buy this black jersey on like just go. I just want to buy the jersey of just the black because I'm just like this is it's so awesome.
all right, let's quickly then move on to the next guy, which is Camilo Doval, or Camilo Doval. No doubles here, 4 control, 17 out, very very standard here, tier 2. Great card. So it's a 250 here. You're going up 10 points. I would rather have Flora, but there is an argument for the other for Doval here.
I think I'm taking Duval actually. I think I'm disagreeing with you, Bob. I think
Ooh,
this one I like the
boo.
safer one. This is a safer. Like he's not going to blow up in your face, right? Like he's not going to let up 2 doubles in a row, getting the advantage, rolling a 20.
Yes, that's correct.
But I kind of like 4 control 17s are like my happy place for pitchers.
Yeah,
But-
I just pulled up
might-
a Starling Marte picture. I'm gonna throw it to you guys in the chat. It is
I
so
wanna see it.
damn sexy. Let me see if I can. How do I? Let me see if
yeah.
I can.
My brain says Floro. My brain. My heart though says Doval. Like I think I would. The thing is, I would be like, yeah, this card he has to do well, can't blow, and then I would just like get rolled with it and like.
Look
you know,
how hot this
oh my-
Starling Marte
yeah.
card is.
Oh man,
Oh,
this
yeah.
Marte card. It's just like
Yeah, you
see,
got
that's
it. If
green-
you get,
that's green on green that works, you know.
Well, let me
'cause
give
it's
you.
a little bit.
Let me give you one more too here for comparison. Is the Marlins not black on black?
Oh, their City Connect. I have had this City Connect jersey in my cart for weeks.
Yeah. So
And
I
I-
like
because
this
it-
pops off the page to me like that. Okay, same. I digress. Camilo Doval.
Yeah, I think I might be biased. This might be my 0405 brain thinking because in that I think it's clear you take Doval because your control matters a little bit less, I'd argue, in those sets because the on bases are a little higher and they're not.
So the other thing
like, you
about
can't screw
relievers you have to
over guys.
remember too is you're putting them in when you want to. So
Yeah.
you can slide in Doval when you're not facing the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then
Oh, he
Doval
shuts
becomes
down.
very effective at the
That's
5,
true.
6, 7, coming as a control 4 who has no doubles on his chart with an out through 17. So now you're talking about like I slot this guy in at a better position in the lineup and he's more effective. So that does come into effect whereas Flora you could just basically throw him whenever, but that double can still hurt you. So you got to be very careful with someone like that.
It's valid.
I don't
So-
know if you guys Arthur Rhodes from 2001 from the Mariners,
Mhm.
basically the same card, which is crazy because I don't think I don't think we've run AL01.
We have
in a
not done
long
AL
time.
only.
So that's probably why. So it'd be really fascinating to see if he goes. He's one of the top closers, relievers. So like I feel like that's a no-brainer. And honestly, Keith Folk is also basically the same card. He just gets a touch of the closer bonus, because he gets marked at the closer. But yeah, those guys make rosters. They do. Like they're especially if we do like a more limited, they'll absolutely make it onto a team.
I mean, he had a 3.0 ERA for the year. He has limited sample size. That's what's showing the buy. He only had 27 innings pitched, and he was sort of like a mid-tier reliever. He had wins and stuff like that. But
it's going to be fascinating to see because I know that our boys Matt and Peter are going to start kind of their process and start. Matt's already made basically every single card for this year, which is wild. So. Or at least like the visually part, but I know Peter's going to be running them, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do like minimum threshold wise, like who starts making them, and that's why I think that this week's set is going to be really fun because it's going to capture some of those, some of those edge cases. So,
yep.
So we're going to wait and see.
And then we'll wrap it up finally with the last card of our shame of the week for the 2021 season. Week 26 is Michael Lorenzen.
Lorenzen. I've had this on my team. I've said it wrong 1,000 times.
And he blew up the last couple days. He had a 37 ERA for the past week, and he had no outs in his last outing. He gave up 5 runs against the Pirates. Didn't have a great season. Again, small sample, 29 innings, but had 5.59 ERA. He got the shame of the week this week, which kind of stinks. But the card itself, overall, if you're looking at value, 180 for a 5, tier 3, 1 through 15 out, with a lot of ground balls, definitely in the range of value here. Just had a rough outing.
Yeah, I take him. I mean, so you're saving 70 points versus what's his face, Flora, or 60 points. I forget what Flora was, but
Flora was 240.
So with one less control.
Floro probably gets a touch of the bonus, so he probably in reliever terms would be 220, 230. So, but like even if let's say Floro was let's say even 220, are you spending the extra 40 points for one tier for one control point?
Yeah, and I like this chart better too, with the not a lot of strikeouts, and he's weird because he was kind of an Ohtani type before Ohtani came over, because he hits and pitches, but I don't think he's been hitting this year. Yeah, he plays the outfield.
Oh wow!
But I don't think this year he has as much because I mean the Reds have a stacked outfield, so it's like, but yeah, and he's jacked. Have you ever seen his biceps? Dude, he is insane.
Well, let me just Google that because I do love a man with some good biceps.
That was a softball to Bob. He was just like, oh my god, I have to look at it. No, this card also like another just like. We talked about the colors on colors, but like, god damn, this is like the red text. And,
oh
like,
my goodness!
All right, now
you saw the biceps.
Just Google his biceps. He is yoked. There's even
like,
one picture where he's like kind of flexing a bit.
See, I may need to change this cutout. I think I need to go back, and I need to because I'm hiding his biceps.
Oh my god!
Jeff, I'm sending this picture into our Discord. But
is it the one of him on like the field?
No, like, just look at this one where he's like sort of just flexing a bit into his. Look at his bicep just ripping through his sleeve.
No. I'm gonna start just one upping you here. I feel like look at this one, and then here, and then I feel like here's the one I feel like you have to use this one. You have to use it. I'm sending it right now.
All right.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm saying. He's jacked.
Go back into my Twitter. If you keep scrolling, I use that exact picture. I think when I didn't update to do the two-way players, I used Lorenzen as like an example. So go back deep in the Twitter.
Okay.
I don't know how you're gonna find it, but I mean, if you even look up MLB Showdown Michael Lorenzen, it may even come up on Google.
Look at this picture, Jeff. I just sent. Dude, his arms are huge. His arm's bigger than his head.
I absolutely will not ever be able to not know this about him now.
His arm is bigger than his head.
His jersey doesn't fit. His jersey doesn't fit. His arms. They like his arms are the size of my legs. Like, and I have like generally large thighs. Like, oh my god. Oh my god.
I can look at his biceps all day, and I'm so jealous of not
What an
having big
epic
biceps.
end
Is this
to this.
Bob's
This is
new
great.
favorite baseball player?
Right
Is this,
now.
like, did he at least make top 10 for you?
Oh yeah, I love a jacked player like what's his face for the Cardinals? Who's the Tyler O'Neill? He's jacked, and so I do love Tyler.
And he's got
O'Neill.
tattoos, I think,
Oh yeah,
too.
tatted
like
and jacked.
He's like still like normal baseball player jacked.
No,
Like-
Tyler O'Neill's pretty big.
But
Dude,
compared
not
to
Michael
Lorenzen.
Lorenzen,
Yeah.
so that's what I mean. Like this is like, yeah, I gotta. Oh, Tyler, he also, you can just see the vein. You know, he's just like
Tyler-
I need to
yeah.
change the cutout to make it to I guess like highlight the veinage plus the bicep.
I
it's
found a
just
picture
like-
with no shirt on. Yeah, he,
Tyler O'Neill is yoked.
Yeah, I just. Anyway, this is
Tyler O'Neill is a monster. The dude is a freaking and he's tatted. He's a monster.
Oh my god, he looks like he honestly looks like an underwear model.
Yeah,
Like, that's
absolutely.
Like how underwear models look.
Absolutely.
Like
That's probably why I like him.
Anyway.
So
All right,
great.
love.
so
Yeah,
on that note,
yeah, exactly.
What a way to end the season.
Now,
Just
if
a
if we
rant.
get a chance to get together again, everyone, we will probably do a recap video. I know my schedule's really busy. Maybe we'll wait till the playoffs start to get a little together. But yes, we will try to get back together for everyone. Thank you guys and for listening. Thank you for Jeff and Matt for being here and
Hey,
keeping
how
this
about
week in
thank you-
Showdown.
Thank you to you, Bob, for doing this every week
Yes.
for 26 weeks. How about like
I don't know
that
how I
deserves
did
a
it.
round of a round
Those
of
are
applause on
Lorenzen-esque biceps right there. Bob was just flexing. That's Lorenzen.
There
See,
we go.
it's Lorenzen
See,
versus
we
Bob.
got it.
That's what it is.
Heck
I'll see
yeah,
you
dude.
in Cincinnati. All right, thank you guys and peace.